This lesson tells you how to multiply a decimal fraction by single-digit whole numbers. So say that we have a problem, 3 times 2/10. There are a couple different ways that they want you to recognize this problem. The first is using a place value chart with discs, and I'll show you how to do that. First thing is to draw your place value chart. After you've drawn your place value chart, you write in discs for each section. So looking at the number 2/10, we have 0 ones, we have our decimal, and we have 2/10. And we're going to repeat this 3 times because we are doing 3 times 2/10. And we will have 3 different sections on that chart. And then when we finish, what we're able to do then is add up all of the discs to find out our solution, which is 0 ones, our decimal, and then we have 6/10. Okay, I want you to recognize this method, but I'm not going to ask you to do it. The other method that many of you are familiar with is the standard algorithm, where we have 0 and 2/10. We multiply it by 3. Okay, 3 times 2/10 is 6/10. Make sure you bring your decimal down. And 3 times 0 ones is 0 for 0 and 6/10. Okay, use that to try to solve this problem, 4 times 3/10. And I'll show you here how I did it. First I did the disc chart, where I have 4 rows where I did 3/10. And when I add them up together, I find that I have 12/10, a decimal, and 0 ones. But I'm not going to leave it as 12/10. I'm going to break it apart so that I have 1, a decimal, and 2/10. On the right side, I did the algorithm, where we have 4 times 3/10, which again is 12/10. But I'm going to break it down in one step here. So I have 2/10, carry the 1. 4 times 0 ones is 0. Have that 1 that we carried over from here, bring it down, and we have 1 and 2/10. Okay. Say we have a problem 2 times 423 thousandths. There are 2 different methods that I want you to understand with this. One is the algorithm, and one's called the area model. And I'm going to show you the area model first. I like it because it breaks it down a bit, but you're not going to use this every single time. First thing you need to do is draw a large rectangle. And then you're going to break it into 3 sections. And what those sections represent are each of the place values for the number you're multiplying it by. So then I'm going to label it. Okay. What I did here is I put my 2 on the side so that I know I'm multiplying each of the numbers by 2. And then I have 4/10 in this section, 2/100 in this section, and 3/1000 in this section. And then all I need to do is go through and multiply. So here I have 8/10, 4/100, and finally 6/1000. Then I'm going to, what helps me is to write the number underneath. So I have 8/10 plus 4/100 plus 6/1000. And then what I can do is add all of these together to have my final solution, which is 0 ones, 846 thousandths. I can also use the algorithm to solve this, where I have 423 thousandths times 2, where I have 3 thousandths times 2, which is 6 thousandths, 2 times 2/100ths, which is 4, and 2 times 4/10, which is 8/10. Don't forget to bring your decimal down. And 2 times 0 ones is 0, where we have 0 and 846 thousandths, which is our same solution. Try this one on your own. 4 times 423 thousandths. And try solving it just using the area model. Okay, when I solved it, I started with my rectangle, drew a section for each of the 3 digits that I have. I have my 4 that I brought straight down. 4 times 4/10 is 16/10. 4 times 2/100 is 8/100. 4 times 3/1000 is 12/1000. Then I wrote out all the numbers, added them together to get 1 and 692 thousandths. Try this one on your own as well. 6 times 1 and 21/100ths, and then use the algorithm to check your work from the area model. Okay, when I saw this, I drew my rectangle, split the sections. 6 times 1, 1 is 6 ones. 6 times 2 tenths is 12 tenths. 6 times 1/100th is 6/100ths. Brought down my numbers, added them together, and have 7 and 26/100ths. Checking it with the algorithm, I was able to have the same solution.